My rich uncle found out I was living in my car while working 2 jobs to pay for my college and my cousins. I was parked behind the 24-hour gym where I had a membership trying to finish an essay on my laptop before my phone died. It was 11 at night in February, freezing cold, and I had 3 blankets wrapped around me in the backseat of my 2009 Honda Civic. This had been my routine for 8 months. Sleep in the car, shower at the gym, work my morning shift at the coffee shop, go to classes, then work nights stocking shelves at Target. My parents died in an accident when I was 17, and the little money they left behind barely covered their funeral costs. I was 20 now, a junior in college, and completely on my own. My Uncle Richard lived 20 minutes away in this massive house with a pool and a 3-car garage. He owned a successful real estate company and drove a BMW. His kids, my cousins Brandon and Ashley, both went to private universities that cost like $60,000 a year. Uncle Richard paid for everything. Their tuition, apartments, cars, spending money, spring break trips to Cancun. Meanwhile, I was eating ramen noodles and sleeping in a car. But here's the thing, Uncle Richard had no idea. After my parents died, he came to the funeral and said if I ever needed anything to let him know. But I could tell he didn't really mean it. It was just something people say. Plus, I had too much pride to ask for help from someone who clearly had favorites. That night behind the gym, I was almost done with my essay when someone knocked on my window. I jumped so hard I nearly dropped my laptop. I looked up and saw Uncle Richard standing there in his expensive jacket looking completely confused. I rolled down the window and tried to play it cool. Hey, Uncle Richard, what's up? He wasn't buying it. Why are you sitting in your car behind a gym at 11 at night? I made up some excuse about needing quiet to study, but he kept pressing. He asked where I lived. I lied and said I had an apartment near campus. Then he asked for the address because he wanted to send me a birthday card next month. I froze. Couldn't think of a fake address fast enough. That's when he noticed the blankets, the bag of toiletries on the front seat, the box of granola bars, and the garbage bag full of my clothes hanging in the back. His face changed completely. Are you living in this car? I wanted to lie again, but I was so tired of pretending everything was fine. Yeah, I said quietly. For how long? Since June. Almost 9 months. I watched him process this information. His nephew, his dead brother's only kid, had been homeless for 9 months while he lived in luxury 20 minutes away. Why didn't you call me? He asked, and his voice actually cracked. I shrugged. You have your own family to take care of. He got quiet for a minute, then he told me to follow him to his house. I tried to argue, but he wasn't taking no for an answer. When we got there, Aunt Linda was already asleep, but Uncle Richard woke her up. They both sat me down at their kitchen table and made me explain everything. How I was working 2 jobs, how I'd been sleeping in my car to save money, how I survived on cheap food and gym showers. Aunt Linda started crying. She kept apologizing over and over, saying they had no idea, that they should have checked on me. Uncle Richard just sat there looking devastated. The next morning, Brandon and Ashley came down for breakfast and found me asleep on their couch. Uncle Richard sat them down and told them everything. I'll never forget the looks on their faces. Brandon actually looked ashamed. Ashley started crying and hugged me. Within 2 days, Uncle Richard had set me up in the guest house behind their main house. Fully furnished, my own bathroom, a real bed. He paid off my tuition for the rest of college, got me a credit card for groceries and gas, even gave me a part-time job at his real estate office doing admin work that paid way better than Target. But the biggest change was in Brandon and Ashley. They both cut back on their spending. Brandon got a part-time job even though he didn't need one. Ashley started volunteering at a homeless shelter. They said finding out about me living in my car changed their whole perspective. Uncle Richard told me he'd been a terrible uncle, that he got so caught up in his own life he forgot to take care of his brother's kid. He said my dad would never forgive him, but he was going to spend the rest of his life making it right. I graduated last year debt-free with a degree in engineering. Now I work at Uncle Richard's company making good money and living in my own apartment. We have dinner together every Sunday, the whole family. Sometimes I think about those 9 months in my car and how different my life could have turned out if Uncle Richard hadn't found me that night.